Well, after a weekend that lacked any productivity from people all across the globe, I think it's safe to say that the public really enjoyed the Battlefield 6 beta as it saw over 500,000 concurrent players at its peak in its first weekend as an open beta, and that was just on Steam. That's especially impressive when compared to Battlefield 2042's all time concurrent peak being just over 100,000 players. It even beat out Call of Duty Black Ops 6 all time concurrent peak player count, which was just under 500,000. To put this into a bit more of context, that was a fully priced game, whereas this is a free beta, but still very impressive. There are probably a lot of people who tried this beta out just to see if it was any good and won't be paying $70 for it at launch, but still pretty impressive. I need to preface this video with the fact that I fucking suck at this game. I'm over 30 years old, and God, did I feel it when I was trying to hang with people playing this weekend.
It's official, old buddy. Well, has been.
What are you talking about? What did that guy tell you?
Told me the goddamn truth is what he told me.
I'm not even talking about those who dedicate their time to perfecting movement or aiming, but I can't really even hold a candle to regular players anymore. So, this review is kind of through that context. But you know what? That's all right, because the game is very fun. Due to the different classes, I was able to contribute in other ways. Maybe I wasn't popping off kill wise, but I was having a really great time reviving my fallen comrades or healing our tank so that it could rain down hellfire on our enemies. When I blew up an enemy tank and I got a double kill, I received a dopamine hit so large that it still hasn't fully worn off. The most annoying part of the beta was the inability to launch it from Steam due to my computer not having secure boot enabled. So I followed a guide from IGN, enabled secure boot, and it still didn't work. So I just swapped to Xbox. Jenny had the same problem, and when she went to enable it, her computer asked her to enroll in some kind of a program, so she just didn't even bother playing the beta. That wasn't great, but I'm sure it had more to do with me not being super good with computers beyond the basics, and it isn't really the game's fault. That being said, playing it on my Xbox Series S console felt great. Despite it not being the strongest console on the market, and surely dwarfed by better PCs out there, I thought the game itself looked beautiful. The explosions were awe-inspiring, and the levolution is always satisfying. Being in a building as it takes fire from an enemy tank and having to escape so that you aren't killed by the rubble is insane in the best way. Really, it's a gaming moment that only Battlefield can deliver. It probably sounds a tad cliche to say it, but playing the Battlefield beta really brought me back to the more classic days of gaming. Nothing too crazy in terms of character designs, something I covered in my latest video about how going back to this more classic feel gives Battlefield its own identity. This is a military shooter through and through. You're not going to see crazy skins running around. It's going to be more like a classic Battlefield game. This is really put into sharp contrast for me when I played some Fortnite this weekend to check out the new edition of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to that, and then played this, and yeah, night and day. It really brought me back to playing Battlefield 2 Modern Combat on the original Xbox, which is the game that got me into this series in the first place. Now, of course, there are issues. I already lamented the secure boot kerfuffle. Other more experienced players are complaining about too low a time to kill, which the devs are looking into. In fact, if you have any recordings of that, you can send it to the game's principal designer on Twitter. His account should be on screen now. Then, with any kind of competitive game, there are going to be people who cheat. In fact, EA has already banned over 330,000 players for cheating, according to a forum post. Their anti-cheat actually requires the secure boot to be on, so I guess it's good for getting cheaters out of the game, but bad for dumb people like me who can't get secure boot to work. Again, just thankful that there's crossplay and I can just use my Xbox. In my case, I mostly play first-person shooters on consoles anyways, so it wasn't the biggest of deals. So to sum this all up, I personally think that the first weekend of the open beta was a giant success. I'm really looking forward to playing it again this weekend and using that to inform my decision on if I'm going to buy it in October. I can see that EA and DICE are taking this entry seriously. It almost feels like they're treating it as a make or break moment for the franchise. So far, I think that they've been very successful in drumming up interest, and this return to the more classic style of Battlefield has gotten the gaming community's attention at large. Will they be able to stick the landing and deliver a game worthy of being compared to the classics that got us into the series? Well, that remains to be seen, but I'm confident enough to say that they're on the right track. So, what are your thoughts about the latest Battlefield 6 beta? Did you enjoy it as much as I did? What are some complaints that you might have that I didn't go over? I look forward to reading the comments and having a good discussion about this title. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. We have videos like this coming out every single week. And check out our other channels, including the Have Not Room, where we cover Big Brother, Those Fake Nerds, where we cover nerd and pop culture news, and Wicked Good Sports, where we cover sports. Also, we have a podcasting channel called Better Radio, which hosts all of our podcasts. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.